Hello guys, my name is Alfred Sarmiento from BSIT 2105. So for today's vlog, I'm going to tackle and answer the activity number 6 for our netakad. So for us to know the answer, so let's go and proceed with our activity. So for our first activity for today, our activity was entitled by IP characteristics. So for this activity, this instructs us to read each IP characteristics, then click connection less effort or media independent to indicate its delivery method. This will this will be the IP characteristics, and these are delivery method as what have mentioned for our instructions. So we send the packet even if the destination knows that able to receive it. That will be the connection list. The second one was does not guarantee that the packet will be delivered. That will be the best effort. And the last one is media dependent. Packet delivery is not guaranteed. So that is the media independent. It will be in the best effort. We'll adjust the size of the packet sent depending on what type of network will be used. So that will be our gen dependent. No contacts made with the destination of the host before sending to a packet. That will be our connectionless. And lastly, fiber optics, cabling, satellites, and wireless can all be used throughout the same packet. That will be the region dependent. So that's it for our first activity. So let's proceed for our second activity, which is the this 6.1.3.3 entitled IPv4 header fields. So for this activity, IPv header fields. This instruct was read each IPv4 header function and then click the IPv4 header field to which it belongs. Identify the priority for each packet. That will be the differentiated services. Identifies the IP address of the recipient. That will be the destination IP address. Commonly referred as to as hop count. That will be time to live. Always set 0100 for IPv4. That will be for our version. Identifies the IP address of the sending host. Of course, it will be the source IP address. And lastly, identifies the upper layer protocol to be used next. That will be our protocol. So that's it. So for our next activity, we have the 6.1.446. So this activity was entitled the header fields IPv6. So this activity struct was read each IPv6 header description and then click IPv6 header to field which it belongs. Identify the size of the portion. That will be the payload length. Suggest that all packets receive the same type of handling. Suggest that all packets receive the same type of handling. That will be the flow label. Identifies the application type of the protocol. That will be the next header. Right, classifies packets for congestion control. That will be the classifies. That will be the traffic class. It's always set to 0110 to be a version. And lastly, when this value reaches 0, the sender is notified that the packet was not delivered. Of course, that's the up limit. So that's all. We have answered it correctly. So for our next activity, we have the wait. We have the 6.2.2.8 entitled Identify the elements of a routing table entry. So this activity instruct was a partial router routing a table entry is shown. A section of the entry is identified by a circled letter above it. Select the correct routing table entry section for each point. Output. So for A, we have the D. B, we have the 192.1968.1.0/24. So our C, open 90/3072, and for our D, the 192.168.3.1 slash. So our E was 00 open 06 open 03 slash. So for our F, we have the gigabit internet 00. So these are the questions. The elapsed time since the network was discovered. List the administrative distance source and metric to reach the remote network. Third, how the network was learned by the router. Fourth, show the destination network. Fifth, the next hop IP address to reach the remote network. Sixth, outgoing interface and router to reach the destination network. So the first one was the elapsed time since the network was discovered was the E 000603. The administrative distance source and metric to reach the remote network, that will be C, which is the 90/3072. How the network was learned by the router, that will be letter A, D. Show the destination network, that will be the 192.168.10/24. B. And for number 5, the next hop IP address to reach the remote network, that will be the via 192.168.3.1. Let's check. And lastly, the outgoing interface and router to reach the destination network, that will be the gigabit internet. So let's check if our answers were correct. So we have answered it correctly. So for our last activity, we have for chapter 6, we have the 6.3.2.6 entitled the router boot process. This activity instructs us to drag each of the steps on the left to appropriate field in the table and the right to show the router boot process order. So these are the questions. Load the iOS operating system file for the router. Load it into RAM after Bootstrap finds the iOS file to be used. Perform post hardware performed by built-in ROM chip. Next, load the configuration file from flash and VRAM, a TFTP server, or go into setup mode to create a configuration file. Lastly, the load bootstrap copied from RAM to RAM locates the iOS. So the first one's the perform post hardware check performed by built-in ROM chip. So that's our first step. Next one will be the load bootstrap, or the copied from the ROM to RAM locates the iOS. And lastly the next one will be the load iOS operating system file for the router loading to RAM after the bootstrap finds the iOS files to be used. And lastly, our last step, load the configuration file from flash and VRAM, a TFTP server, or go to setup mode to create a configuration file. So that's it. We have answers all activities for chapter 6. So that's all. Thank you.